Back in studio with the guys, and I'm looking at 816 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 1 punt this season for the Daniel Jones-led offense, Mac. I think surprise is a fair word because of the picture painted of Daniel Jones throughout his career, but this is now consistency across 12 quarters.
I think it's time, guys, to have an uncomfortable conversation.
Please.
In this conversation, it goes with, there could be a team led by Daniel Jones that's a top 3 team in their conference.
Oh.
That is the uncomfortable conversation.
I was waiting for the uncomfortable part. We found it.
And the reason why it's uncomfortable because
AFC.
Daniel Jones is leading this team in a way in which we thought was not possible for him. And his style of play and how they protect the football, they're number 1 in the turnover differential, which is a surprise, and what he's doing in terms of efficiency, and he's having fun, and everything is coming together under his watch. Remember how bad they were a year ago in finding ways to lose ball games. Now they're not just winning ball games, they're doing so with style. Once upon a time when the BCS was a thing, you had to do so with BCS points. You needed style, right? And they're delivering style.
Yeah.
And like I said, in 3 weeks of play, when you look at the cream of the crop in the AFC, you cannot have that conversation without the Indianapolis Colts being involved. When you look at Buffalo, when you look at Baltimore, the Chargers, you have to have their name in that conversation right now.
Max spent his Saturday in Lincoln, Nebraska, trying to take us back to the age.
BCS.
The BCS. He might be living in the 90s. You know, they get stuck there.
It is Throwback Sunday for CBS.
To your point, though, this is a victory and another performance over Cam Ward's Titans. I don't think grand proclamation needs to be made just yet, but this is sound football, this is clean football, and this is a quarterback who's gotten a lease on life somewhere else. You've been in a couple different buildings, Ben. How can setting change performance in some cases?
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing it with Daniel Jones firsthand these first couple of weeks, right? 3-0, sometimes a change of scenery is a great thing, and dare I say it, this team, this quarterback feels a little bit like the Minnesota Vikings of last year, right? Sam Darnold, change of scenery, change of coach, change of offense. You're seeing a guy who looks really comfortable, is taking care of the ball. And dare I say the word game manager? I know some guys don't like being called game managers. That's exactly what Daniel Jones is doing. He's taking care of the ball. This offense is being really efficient. They're moving the ball. Punters staying on the sidelines. They're 3-0 for a reason, and Daniel Jones at the forefront of it.
You want to have an uncomfortable conversation. It's going to be time for those sooner rather than later, maybe, JJ. We're talking about a quarterback who is playing for future compensation, playing for future position. When do those conversations start happening, and what do those conversations look like?
If the Indianapolis Colts want to, they can engage with Daniel Jones and his representation at any point. I don't know that they will because they still have a top 5 pick that's there on their roster, and Anthony Richardson, someone who everyone there chose Anthony Richardson. So if you do sign Daniel Jones to a long-term contract extension during the season, which they can do, that spells the end of Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis. So I don't know that they would do that. Also, if you're Daniel Jones and his representation, do you want to do this right now? Because right now, the number, if I had to say right now, the number would probably, the basement is $35 million per year. Because consider this, the franchise tag for this upcoming year is going to be somewhere around $41, $42 million. They could tag him, and that's 42 unmovable millions of dollars. So what you would think would be somewhere like a 3-year deal. That's $120 million, where it's a 2 plus a 1, essentially. That is what we're talking about, the money that's on the table right now for Daniel Jones.
It's interesting, too, because I know you don't use past contracts in different places as framework, but 40 per for 2 seasons in that agreement with the New York Giants, you have to think that representation is saying, we have made this, we'd like this.
There's no doubt about that. Sam Darnold got somewhere around $33 million per year. Baker Mayfield, you go back where he signed the 3-year, $100 million contract. But again, what you can use is, hey, you want to tag him? Then go ahead and tag him. It's $42 million. That will count against your cap. Yeah. Or sign him to a deal that averages that, and you can bring down the cap number when you sign him to that long-term extension.
We'll leave that to the front office. Daniel Jones wants to continue talking football because we're talking 3-0 start. As for the Titans, Cam Ward, the top overall pick. Patience is a virtue, but you're seeing some bad habits downloading here over the first 3 weeks. An 0-3 start for top overall pick since 2019. Sort of what it looks like.